Hi and welcome to Random Rogers Big Picture for the week of January 25th. A very quick video. It's very late Friday afternoon, almost Friday evening, and we're actually going out with people. Go figure. I dressed up, very clean t-shirt. Very clean. Anywho, I got an email from what I guess, a person I guess I would call one of my ETF conference buddies. He's the research director for a regional brokerage firm. I think they're regional. And it was a report about, how secure or not Barclays ETNs are. And ETN is an exchange-traded note. Basically, the idea is there's not going to be a problem if they nationalize. That doesn't mean default, and I'm sure all of that is true. But I guess a little bigger picture is a matter of philosophy. I'd rather just not have to be right about that sort of thing. A default is unlikely. A default is always unlikely. That is always the low probability event. But with the way the stock is trading, it seems like something is going to happen. And again, assuming it is nationalized somehow, which gets a little tricky because of the manner in which they sold the stake to Qatar, whatever. I'm not quite sure how that would work. But I just, to repeat myself, why bother worrying about having to be right or wrong about that? And I've not had any exposure to ETNs for a while. Months ago, a couple of people owned BWV as a proxy for, the buy right index, and the few people that had that I swapped into PBP. It is literally a handful of people with varying circumstances. Again, the thought was, well, why even worry about having to be right? And so, on a personal note, I bought just as I said I would, personally, I bought the coffee ETN. I bought it and sold it this week. I made 2.5 points on it, which must be a mistake, and I was very disappointed to sell it. But again, I just don't even want to even worry about having to be right. So I blew it out, made a couple of points, no big deal. And this philosophy of just not even wanting to have to worry about it, I think will over the long run spare a lot of problems. I think I've touched on this before. But if you're going to build your own portfolio or you're going to use, things beyond SPY, IWM, and EFA, if you're going to go a little narrower than that, you might want to be cognizant of it. And, I'd love to be wrong about that. Barclays does well, the ETNs, no problem. I'll go back into the coffee. It's not something I'm going to do for clients. It's a little narrow, and I'd rather go a little broader for clients, which is why I have the DBA ETF. And again, that's an ETF. So if something funky happens to Invesco, which again I'm not expecting, it's a whole different kettle of fish with an exchange-traded fund. That's it. Have a good weekend.